Welcome, beloveds. We are going to do our little sharing with the Sabian Symbol for the full moon coming up on October 20th. This is taking place in the sign of Aries. I am the first cardinal fire sign of creation, of spirit. So very significant with this being a full moon because it's going to be a culmination. And if we think back to April of 2020, let me pull up my chart here. I'm going to start probably utilizing Zoom again so I can do share screen. I tend to be able to share better, and I like to share the screen with, oh no, I just closed out one of my charts. I like to share the screen with my listeners because as I learn astrology, I would like you to be able to visualize too. So we had a new moon in the beginning part of 2020, and all of us realize what's been going on in the earth plane with humans over the last year or so. So the new moon at that time was a time of planting seeds, a time to get real with ourselves, right? A time to heal that self, to heal the energy of I am. And that new moon took place in a conjunction with Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. That means facing our shadows, facing our wounds so that we can remember who we truly are as sovereign beings. And so a lot of things coming up because it was also in a square with Lilith, Black Moon Lilith at that time. And so over this last year, you may have had a lot of things coming up to the surface to face, a lot of things that were subconscious that you might not have, you know, might have been going about your business on your daily life, just not looking at things that you were perhaps wounded in the past, suppressed emotions. And so now we're coming into this culmination with the full moon in Aries, and it's super important because that first spark, right, the cardinal energy of fire, Aries, self, I am, is more important than ever for all of us to realize who we truly are as sovereign beings so that we can put an end to the karmic patterns of suppressing, of the collective, you know, the psychological warfare. So it's important more than ever for this culmination energy to give gratitude for your growth, to stand in your courageousness, right? Fire energy, to stand in your knowingness that you are a spark of creation and that you are not here to be infringed upon by others. And so really being courageous, bringing forth your heart space, your determination as that ram, right? And it's time for you to be a leader in your own life, to be accountable for yourself. So that is the typical things that I'm feeling coming up with Aries energy and the importance of knowing who we are truly, more than just self-worth, but your authenticity and your unique expression, and being cautioned to not acting out of impulse, not acting out of anger. Again, traits of Aries when on the lower, you know, vibration of that. And so the solar plexus chakra is affiliated. I pulled up an article here, affiliated with Aries. So the solar plexus chakra is assigned to the star sign of Aries. This ram chakra describes a personal strength, self-esteem, which I say self-esteem is much more than just superficial self-esteem, like self-worth, knowing who you are, knowing you're a spark of creation, right? And it also is our passions. So channeling any kind of anger energy into a passion, right? The wands type of energy in the tarot. So it's important for us to really anchor into that because that solar plexus energy is how we can balance out the rest of our chakras in our body, in our energy body. The solar plexus chakra stands for balance, balance of your emotions, balance between the other chakras, and for harmony in interpersonal relations. So healing thyself, healing that I am, healing and knowing you're a spark of creation so that you can go forward, right? Because opposing this full moon is the sun in Libra, which is about relationships. So it goes back to self. The importance of this full moon too being a culmination is also that it is opposing the sun. That's what a full moon is. And in conjunction with this sun in Libra is the planet of Mars, which rules Aries. So super powerful, super significant, happening at 27 degrees, 25 minutes. And this can bring up a feeling of uncertainty, can make you solve problems faster than is natural. Do not rush as if there is a deadline. Try to slow down so that you can decide what you want to do to proceed forward, as we are all going through such transformational times. Again, going back to self, the I am. So think about it from the new moon last year. How you were maybe a year ago hopefully has changed for the better here as we're coming into this culmination. And really the sun illuminating this moon, wanting us to be open and receptive for hidden things to be shined upon, right? Because the sun illuminates the moon and makes things come to light. And so many of us could be having epiphanies right now with this being highlighted. So we're going to go into the Sabian symbol and a few other things that I would like to share out of my beautiful astrology book. I'm just going to ask Divine Spirit, our Holy Spirit, our divine light worker support system, to allow me to share some messages today that encourage, uplift, even bring awareness to, for those who tune in and listen. And may I please be a clear channel of love, of spark of creation. May I step forward in this leader position as a cardinal energy, right, for the collective right now. May we all step forward in that sovereignty. We ask that you bless us. We ask that we receive the blessings. We ask that our hearts be open, receptive, and we give thanks in advance. And so it is, okay? I'm feeling like I have a lot more energy. I don't know about y'all. Since the 1010 portal, we had a huge incoming energy from the sun. So the 10th, 11th, 12th, you may have been feeling a lot of intensity, a lot more layers of purging. I know I have. So it's all putting us back in this culmination right now with the full moon in Aries to step forward in our leadership roles, being the leader of your own life. This is not the time in the collective, as there's so much suppression and silencing that's been going on for generations, but it's now coming to the light to be shut down, to be misguided by others. We got to follow our own spark of creation, divinity, and really take that forward so we can change in this evolution that all of us are going through on an individual level, on a collective level, on a state level, on a country level. Because right, everything that's impacted all of us since last year has everybody in this time of change and death and rebirth. And what I'm feeling like coming up to share today is that, you know, the grid lines in the Akashic records hold everything from this lifetime, the last, the next, right? This continuum. And we're doing a lot of karmic clearing, not only on an individual level, but as countries, as karmas come into the forefront to be cleared. That's why it's so intense when we're receiving this integration of light, as if we're still holding on to density, hurts, past wounds, suppressed emotions. We're going to feel that resistance within us if we're not willing to face it. And so it's really important that we bring that into our awareness, because a lot of people are going forward with no awareness of all of what's going on, the psychological warfare, the subliminal messages, right? And so we have forward movement here coming. We had Pluto go direct, and we had Saturn go direct here. Saturn went direct exactly on the 1010 portal, which I find no coincidence that the sun put off another huge flare of life force energy and light. And then Mercury will be stationed to go direct on Monday the 18th, just a couple of days prior. So forward communication. We've went over this time with the retrograde energy of reflecting and revitalizing and renewing, hopefully. And it's time now to have forward momentum. So at the time of this full moon, it looks like Uranus, Neptune, and Chiron, that wounded healer that is in Aries of self, is still all retrograde. So you could still be having a lot of these things coming forward so that we can be our own healers, right? And really go forward in a beautiful way. So I'm just going to clear the energy a little bit. If you're noticing a lot of anger come up, that's probably to due course. Don't attach to it. Allow it to flow through you, because we're purging so much on an individual level and a collective level. It's very obvious. There's a lot of outlandish shit going on right now. So do you trust the divine more than ever, and trust your spark of creation, and really utilize the cardinal energy with this culmination in full moon in Aries, because you need to be a leader. You need to be the leader over your own sovereignty, and not to get drugged down by what we're witnessing, that eventually will all crumble and fall, right? May I speak clearly and in resonance. Thank God for the little bit of energy levels that I have now, because I tell you what, we're going to draw overall message with the Queen of Moon Oracle. First, for this Aries full moon, which message is best for all of us who tune in to listen right now for the current energies of the culmination of this cardinal I am spark of creation energy? What is the message best given and best received at this time? Really honor our ancestors right now. A lot of the ancestry has carried on pattern after pattern after pattern of the programming, the division of religion, the division and suppression. And so we really have the opportunity right now to continue to clear that, to kind of honor and see things for what they were, and to be able to shape shift ourselves in remembrance, so that we can slowly co-create a better place. A lot of clearing of the grid lines of the planet, like cultural suppression, the religion suppression, and we're seeing so much of the government. It feels almost like a standing on our necks, right? And making them, trying to say we don't have a choice. Well, this is now why it's so important to know who you are, the I am, and be that leader. Because as a sovereign being of God, creator, source, creator of the universe, you do have a choice, okay? Remember that. Don't allow yourself to be pressured into things. Aries full moon. Assessing. So you see her up in an air balloon, and to me that symbolically is like taking the higher perspective, to not be asleep at the wheel, but to rise above what you're looking at. You see the moon there, partially dark, partially illuminated. This is asking us to rise above what we are currently seeing and witnessing with our two eyes, to know that there's still things that are hidden, that have not came to light. And as an empath, I was just thinking of this. Like most of us tuning in, we've been born, I was born in the 70s. I've always felt a level of deception. But what we're witnessing now with seeing how deep the deception has been is that it's even more alarming when we've always felt it, right? As sensitives or old souls, light workers. But now we're seeing it. So it's a whole nother level of madness. I feel like I got a hair sticking on my face. So this energy with the overall is a 9, and 9 is a completion number. So continue to rise above the situations and what we're witnessing. Also know some things are being illuminated right now. I believe that darkness that we're seeing on the moon here is there's still a lot more things that are going to be uncovered, unveiled. And what we need to do is keep rising above that. And that's for sure being witnessed in the collective. As a lot of us can feel there's something brewing, but we don't see it. So just know that this will be illuminated, but what we need to do is rise above, like in this air balloon, right? Hot air balloon, to rise above it, to keep our eyes open, to allow our third eye and our two eyes to be in union with each other, and really allow the process of assessing what we're witnessing, which is a dismantling of the old, that all of us, every walk, cultural country, are being revealed many things that we were just on autopilot and not aware of. So very alarming in the third density, but we're being asked to not cling to that, to witness it, to rise above it, and keep allowing yourself to assess the process going on within you and the clearing of the collective that we're all in right now, especially since last year at the new moon. So from my beautiful book, I will show you the image so you can get a feel of it. It's just phenomenal, right? Determined, courageous, spark of creation, the I am. In harmony, the Aries energy can be courageous and just plow forward in a very determined way. Again, don't let anger that comes up alarm you. Just channel it in a passionate way. That's what we can do. So Aries symbolizes the very first spark of creation. It rushes to activate as if coming into being of everything else depends on it. This is hardly surprising with all 4 of its key concepts expressing positivity. The sign of the early northern spring, Aries is like the seed bursting out of the pod, oblivious to danger and not knowing whether it can be sustained by the unfamiliar, alien environment in which it finds itself. So do you feel like that? I feel like that. Like, what the hell is going on in this world? I don't care to be around people. I don't want to be out in public. So what it is best for me right now, if you're feeling this, is just to keep building your own self-worth, knowing you're a divine spark of creation, and let that be your determination and your passion in this world, because your light matters. Anything else real quickly? So the moon in Aries have a tendency to agree right away because it's impulsive if you're not in check, right? The moon in Aries are happy to give positive push to most things, providing this does not threaten their freedom or action or take away personal control of their own destiny. So we're going to see a rise. We're going to see people saying no more. We're going to see more people coming forward and saying, hell to the no. I'm not going with the narrative. I'm not going with the agenda. I'm sovereign over my own body. Okay? Don't do it in an angry way. Well, don't do it in a violent way, right? Because Mars rules Aries. Do it in a peaceful, passionate, leadership way. The sensitive moon does not find it easy to express itself in the fiery cardinal Aries. So inappropriate reactions and irritation are likely, often leading to misunderstandings. So really keep it in check, guys. Make sure your emotions, because it's impulsive here. You know, we have the moon, which represents the feminine, the receptive, the people. With this in the sign of Aries, of it can be impulsive. So stay clear of, I would say stay clear of crowds, because there's not everybody that's awake and aware like we are, right? And a lot of people are just going on that autopilot. Channel this energy at this full moon of a knowingness who you are, again, taking a leadership role over your life and taking it forward in a leadership role through passion for knowingness that we are in this huge change that has to happen in order for us to go forward what's best for self and what's best for the collective. Because a lot of, again, the feeling of them, the powers that think they are standing on our necks, trying to brainwash people 24/7 that you don't have a choice over your own sovereignty, over your own body, over your own psychological well-being, over your own mental health, physical health. More important than ever, allow that fire to come up with you, in you, of saying, you know what, no fucking more. This is my body. I'm sovereign, and I'm not going along with the agenda. So that would be the way to benefit yourself. So we're reading the Sabian Symbol for this new moon, or full moon in Aries. And I'm telling you, when I read this, I'm like, holy shit. What we have going on in the collective right now, these Sabian symbols are so spot on. 28 degrees Aries, because you always round up. The full moon is 27, 25, and so we go to 28. A large disappointed audience. The key word here is disjunction, which is separation and division. And look what's happening. Nothing lasts forever. This symbol speaks to the disillusionment that can occur when too great of a dependence is placed on things external to self. Don't rely on the government. Don't rely on the school systems. Don't rely on the system that we have that's crumbling. We have to rely on ourselves. We have to be self-resilient. We have to be self-assured that we are sparks of creation, right? The image of the large disappointed audience alludes to expectations that wasn't met. We've been let down. We've all been let down. If you're pissed, you have every right to be pissed. You have every right to be angry that we've been deceived, right? Whoa. As when something that is being enjoyed ends prematurely, or when something that is anticipated or expected to occur fails to materialize. Thus, this symbol also speaks to the unpredictabilities of life and to changes in taste or preference. This is one of the images that Mark Jones described as reversed symbolism, or as carrying a negative connotation, and he commented there on the danger of an individual becoming disillusioned as a result of making the momentary mood of the masses any proper guide for the values he should hold. If you put your value, if you put your health into the hands of the government, big pharma, the schooling, you're going to be sadly disappointed. And what this is basically saying is, yes, you're going to be disappointed when your eyes finally become cleared, as mine have. But the danger of this is putting hope and faith into a man-made, manipulated system that's crawling. So again, anger could come up. So I'm going to read this part again before I flip the page. And he commented there on the danger of an individual becoming disillusioned as a result of making the momentary mood of the masses any proper guide for the values that he should pursue. Do not be persuaded or impulsive on the lines of shit that they are feeding you guys right now. Trust me, you don't want to. So in modern terms, this degree emphasizes being true to self. The positive aspect of this full moon in Aries at this degree is, at its highest, the symbol represents the courage to do what is best for the self and resist emotional appeals or pressures from others. Again, this symbol represents the courage to do what is best for self and resist emotional appeals and pressures from others. Do not be pressured. Do not. And if you listen to your God-given intuition, if you're being bribed right now, if you're being coerced into taking something upon your body or going with an agenda that doesn't feel right with you, listen to your gut. The negative or lower aspect of this full moon is self-annihilation through pessimistic thinking and false perceptions of rejection. Let them shame you, because that's what's happening too. Shaming people who don't cover their face, shaming people that don't take a jab. Don't allow your impulse to get the best of you and make an action or a choice that you cannot reverse, that you cannot undo. So the ascent is on a shift in attitudes and values. What worked yesterday may not hold up today. That's why it's important to not act impulsively, right? Out of this energy of Aries, or any time from last year till now. How coincidental, right? Not. So the opportunity with this full moon in Aries is your greatest advantage lies in being self-reliant and pleasing yourself. Think independently and objectively. So it is so important with what we have going on, right? It's 2021, guys. To be self-reliant, to be self-fulfilling, to be empowered. The stepping stones are disillusionment, dissatisfaction, dismay, frustration, letdown, discouragement, unpredictability, disappointment, and lack of harmony. That's all the lower aspects, right? If you feel discouraged, observe it. Rise above it, right? Keep assessing. If you feel betrayed, you have every fucking right to feel betrayed and angry about it. If you're feeling a lack of harmony within yourself, reflect upon it, assess it. What is hidden within me I haven't been willing to look at? I am the spark of creation. I am self-reliant. I'm not relying on big pharma for my health, big government for my health. All these fuckers that are fallen, that are deceptive, right? So remember that, to be self-reliant, to not buy into the separation and the division that's being fueled more than ever, that's been happening for generations, right? Like generations. This ain't new. It's just being uncovered. So we're going to do another one from the Moonology. The Sabian symbols are spot on. I am on other social media platforms. I am definitely not on Facebook. I do have backup channels for this as well. So if you go to my homepage on the banner, you will currently see the links to other platforms that I'm on. And I'm also now on Clubhouse under Lady Virgo. I only join podcasts there right now, but I'm going to eventually do podcasts or sharings with rooms where we can get together, discuss whatever we want. So again, Lady Virgo on Clubhouse. And it's all audio. It's wonderful. If you haven't used the platform, check it out. So keep assessing, keep paying attention to what's going on. Face what is illuminated in your life, but also realize there's still hidden things there with that moon energy, right? So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the sharing for this full moon in Aries. Powerful time, guys. Have a fire, beat a drum, stargaze, Aries full moon. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. We have every opportunity as sparks of Creator to end tough cycles. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to. We don't have to suffer to be on this beautiful planet. It's just a program. We've been running it. And so we can end that cycle. We can find and make our mark in the world with this Capricorn energy. We can be determined, and it has the power within all of us as the I am to do that, to do just that. So allow yourself to continue to purge and let go, because that's happening. We're healing. If you're aware and if you're willing to face your shadow, we are healing ancestral patterns. We are healing cultural patterns. And as a collective, we are healing global issues, a lot of karma, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of suppression, lifetime after lifetime. Now is the time to arise, to assess the process so we can go forward. Knowing that you are I am, knowing that you're important, knowing that you're sovereign, and definitely with the Sabian Symbol, like it said, many of us may be feeling disappointed because we were let down by all these systems, right? It's okay to feel that anger, channel it in a way that makes you just spark of energy of, I'm passionate about this. I'm going to use my voice to speak to others, to share processes of ending, right? Rough or tough things that we've all been through, all of us. It's time to come out of hermit mode and take that leadership position with a new you, a new healing or healed you, because our lights are definitely needed here. Activation. The Fool card. The Fool card is a blank slate. This is a freedom. This is the process where you've ended the tough cycles. You're learning, you're healing, you're processing your Chiron energy, right? I'm learning and gaining wisdom and knowledge from my life experiences. And this can be totally perfect with the cardinal energy too, right? The Fool. Blank slate. 0 point. What am I am? Capital letters. I am sovereign over my own sovereign body. How am I going to take that forward with this initiating cardinal full moon in Aries energy with a passion, with a determination, with a courageousness, like the lion roaring? And if you're being persecuted because you're not going along with the agendas, then congratulate yourself. You're not falling for the agendas that are happening. So 0 point it. New perspective, new beginning, a freedom. A freedom. Do you not feel it? If you've been doing your work and you're not buying into the agenda being fed to you 24/7 through subliminal messages, through brainwashing, through psychological warfare, and you feel like you are totally against the grain of what the masses are, congratulate yourself. We're building a new earth, a new collective, a new life. And now is time for you to allow this full moon in Aries to illuminate who you truly are, what your true passions are. And we're going to do an I Am affirmation, and we will be ending this. Thank you so much for joining me. Allow your fire, your courageousness to come through in a healthy, determined way. I am peaceful with my emotions. Again, lots of processing, lots of clearing, a lot of purging, a lot of intensity. Feel into all emotions, whether they be sadness, grief, anger. Process them, allow them to, just like a channel of energy, right? I had to peel my shoes off the other day and my socks and go out and barefoot on the ground because that last CME that came in from the sun between the 10th and the 12th was rough. And so ground, have a fresh set of ideas, perspectives, freedom within yourself. We don't have to continue these tough cycles that humanity keeps replaying fucking lifetime after lifetime with karma. Keep assessing yourself, even your emotions, right? Beautiful, beautiful third eye and crown chakra colors in these two cards. And that completion with the 9 here is ending patterns, ending cycles, right? And that confirms with this Capricorn full moon. Let the towers crumble. Don't attach to what we're witnessing. Just be dismantled in everything. All the structures that have been in control. The indoctrination in traditional schooling. Homeschool your kids. You have a choice. The government, govern yourself. Big pharma, get into herbal medicines and natural healing. You have the opportunity to do that. You are powerful. You are a spark of creation. I am affirmation would be perfect right now. So let this time illuminate you, encourage you, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you the next time to tune into my channel. Namaste and so much love. Shalom, shalom.